Hello and happy Friday Eve from Radically Rational and RadicallyRational.com. What's the one thing you know for sure about Coach? He is a shameless frontrunner, absolutely. Dusty Baker called it the win of the year, the game of the year so far, as the Astros score 4 runs in the bottom of the ninth to overtake the Cubs. And with that, the Astros square their home record on the season at 11-11. They're 5 games over 500 overall for the first time this year, and they were down 6-1 in the 4th inning. Loving it. Okay, so did you watch the NBA Eastern Conference Finals opener last night? Impressive performance by the Heat. They come from 9 down at halftime to beat the Celtics. Jimmy Butler, 35 points, 20 of them after halftime. It was really the third quarter that told the story there. So you got game 2 in the East coming up Friday night, once again in Boston. And by the way, did you see this? I did. Did you watch a lot of those post-game interviews with Celtics players? Man, they are wound way too tight, and that may prove to be their undoing. Okay, the most luxurious thing from a personal standpoint I could think of would be if I could afford to have a brand new razor blade every day. But we all know that costs more than a yacht. So the second most luxurious thing would be just have the luxury to lie around for the next 4 days and do nothing but watch the PGA, because I love that. But the truth is, as the Isley Brothers and later the Average White Band said, I got work to do, so I'm not going to be able to do it. So par 70 on a very difficult course at Oak Hill in Rochester, New York. Who you got? I'm kind of thinking Scheffler. That works for me. But what's this about temperatures in the 30s? Brr. All right, I'm breaking the news to BB right now. I don't think she knows this yet. But your basketball coach at UH looks like he's heading to the Milwaukee Bucks. He has coached there before as an assistant. I'm talking about Kelvin Sampson, who has done a phenomenal job with the Cougars. And if he departs, that's going to be a big blow to that program as they head to the Big 12. Teflon Tiger. Florida judge has ruled that Tiger's ex-girlfriend must abide by a non-disclosure agreement that she signed, and she must resolve her lawsuits against Woods using private arbitration behind closed doors. Bottom line, there's some dirty laundry there, but we ain't going to see it. Okay. This is a good problem to have, but it's a problem nevertheless. So the Cowboys executive vice president, Stephen Jones, says he's going to work it all out. He says he knows that he's got some work to do because they're going to have to get busy re-signing people like C.D. Lamb and Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. And believe it or not, before too long, Dak Prescott once again. Okay, so Jones says he's going to get it done somehow, some way. But it was kind of funny that he made that comment yesterday at a news conference promoting the Professional Bull Riders World Finals, which is going to be held at AT&T Stadium. All I'll say is sometimes, particularly with the Joneses, there's a very fine line between bull riding and bull, you got it. Early, he just makes stuff up. And a cult doesn't care. In fact, the cult just woofs it down. No tangerine. You cannot automatically declassify documents. And you cannot do it simply by thinking about it. No, that's just not how this works. And you are not free to take those documents anywhere you want to. Now, I will concede that we've got an overall chronic problem here that extends into the Biden administration. And if you do the research, it goes all the way back to the Reagan administration. But here's the bottom line. Our allies cannot trust us, and that cannot be a good thing. Every now and then I have to remind myself that DeSantis is Ivy League educated. Do you think he really believes his own garbage? I'm not sure I do. All right, so does it look to you like maybe your Supreme Court of the United States is trying to clean up a little bit of their PR mess right now? I was shocked Wednesday when the court at least briefly took their tongues out of the gun lobby's mouth. I was shocked in a good way. All right, so remember all those algebra classes, where you had to isolate a variable on one side of the equation and then solve for it? Okay, we've done that. with the issue of mass shootings. We've isolated the variable. Yeah, hell yeah, it's the guns, stupid. It's the guns. We've taken everything else out of the equation. Of course, look, I want Harry and Meghan and everybody to be safe, and no, I have not forgotten about Princess Diana. But my goodness, CNN's breathless wall-to-wall coverage yesterday of Paparazzi Gate was an embarrassment. Now, it wasn't an embarrassment the size of Don Lemon or Chris Cuomo, but it was not a shining moment either. And it's going to be interesting to see how Caitlin Collins does in her new primetime role starting next month. Right now, I'm just agnostic about it. I don't know what's going to happen. All right, this is one of the happiest moments of my life because I heard this quote and I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. I can chew and walk gum at the same time. He said it, talking about George Santos. I can chew and walk gum at the same time. Now that's a pretty good party trick. And then there was MTG chanting, impeach Biden, impeach Biden. For what? Doesn't that generally require an impeachable offense? Couple of reminders, Ukraine can win this war. It's clear, Ukraine can win this war. So now is not the time for us to walk away. Now is the time for us to double down. Okay, this debt ceiling issue that may be the undoing of all of us and this brinksmanship. Here's the deal. You know, the cultists, the GOP, they always tell us elections mean things. This is one instance where you're exactly right. Elections mean things. And that means that the President of the United States gets to set the rules here. So quit with all of your smoke screens, do the right thing, raise this ceiling, and we'll worry about the other stuff later. But here's the deal. You're not dealing from a position of power. Elections mean things. And finally, I got to think about this one. So the state of Montana is barring the use of TikTok on private devices. I got to think about it some more. I need some more information, but my initial reaction is that's illegal. And my next reaction is, and you know the next thing that's going to happen is that Abbott's going to try the same thing because he's always up for pandering and grandstanding and jumping on the pile. I want everybody to have a great Thursday. For me, I can chew and walk gum at the same time. We are radically rational.